This is an instructional video on the use of a bag valve mask device for resuscitation. It is otherwise known as a BVM. It consists of several different components which we'll run through in a minute. The advantages for the patient are that it provides a very effective means of supplying oxygen or room air to an unconscious patient in a resuscitation scenario. The advantages for the rescuer, the lifeguard, mean that it reduces the chance of any cross-contamination of any infection from the patient to the rescuer. This is because it takes away the need to provide mouth-to-mouth or mouth-to-mask ventilations. First of all, we'll run through the different parts of a BVM device. This is the bag itself. You squeeze the bag to provide air or oxygen to the patient. You can hook it up to oxygen if you have oxygen available, but it will work just fine without oxygen and will work on room air. This is the mask which goes over the patient's face and connects to the bag component of the device. And in between these two things, you attach a little filter called a viral filter, and this reduces the chance of any cross-contamination should the victim have any disease. And that connects up like that. So in the event of a resuscitation on the beach or elsewhere, you should consider the use of full PPE in the current COVID outbreak. So that would include gloves, which I'm wearing for the video, and an FFP2 or an FFP3 face mask, which I do not have for the use of the video, but which your employer should provide for you. Let's run through the setup of the device. So like mentioned before, this is the bag. You attach the viral filter onto it, that connects on like that. And then you attach an appropriately sized face mask. Face masks come in various different sizes, but the standard would be large and small adult, an average child and a baby. So in this scenario, we'll connect up an adult face mask, and then you connect it like shown. That's the finished product. And now it's ready for use with a patient, which we'll show you now in a minute. For use with a patient for lifeguards, this is a two-person technique and requires two rescuers to use. So we're now going to bring in a second rescuer who will show us how to use the face mask. So this is the hand position as shown to use the BVM. Your two thumbs are on top of the mask and they are pushing down towards the patient. And your four fingers on each hand are on the jaw and they pull up towards the mask. This allows you to provide oxygen to the patient. So with my hands in the correct position and with my second lifeguard to help me, I am now ready to provide oxygen to the patient. So with the bag, you squeeze the bag only enough to provide chest rise. For most adults, that will be half a usual bag. So when you have your second lifeguard and you're using the BVM, you can continue to do chest compressions as normal in the usual ratio of 30 compressions to 2 breaths. While the other lifeguard is doing compressions, you should continue to hold the BVM against the patient's face, as this will reduce the chance of any cross-contamination from patient to rescuer. So when your AED arrives from the lifeguard tower, the second lifeguard doing compressions can apply the AED to the patient's chest, and he or she can then continue to provide compressions and use the defib. When the defib is delivering a shock, at that stage the person providing breaths through the BVM can remove the mask momentarily while the shock is being delivered. So this is using a BVM with a smaller mask on a child-sized patient. And note that we're not squeezing the bag as much because obviously a child is smaller and doesn't need as much oxygen to chest rise. So with a small infant or baby, there is a separate size BVM to use. You can use it as normal with the filter attached. Your grip may be slightly different in that your two thumbs stay on top, but there may only be room for 1 or 2 fingers down on the baby's jaw because they are so small. With any baby, it is important not to overextend the neck like this, as that will kink their airway, so you keep their neck in a neutral position and look for chest rise. If you are waiting for the BVM to arrive from the Lifeguard tower and you have a pocket mask available, you can use the pocket mask to provide rescue breaths on your own, and you can use it with the viral filter that you attach to the BVM. Attach it as shown, and using the same hand position you do on the BVM, you can provide breaths to the casualty.